Oh, hello, everybody. This is our assessment advice discussion, basically, in our first session tonight. And I'd like to discuss with you about the assessment advice. Okay, so please make sure that you have downloaded the files, the assessment brief, the presentation files, learning materials, and also the assessment advice. Now, assessment one is due on the 29th of December. When you think about it, yes, you still have around more than 20 days basically, but it requires you to do some research so you can have a robust analysis to support your argument. Okay. All right. So the objectives of these assessments include the following areas here: the clear understanding of the importance of marketing in modern business, and of course we need to be able to show that we have an effective contemporary marketing practices. That's what the one that we need to provide. And also theoretical overview and research methods to collect the data, including secondary data, to support our arguments. Okay, so specific tasks include the buyer behavior, micro environments, and that includes the public suppliers and also the competitors, which are basically part of micro environment actors. And we need to also analyze the macro environmental forces that include the political, economic, social, cultural, and technological. Therefore, the relevant tools or concepts that we need to use in this assessment basically consists of past analysis, micro-analysis, that includes the company, customers, public suppliers, marketing intermediaries, or the middleman, and the competitors, and consumer behavior analysis. Okay, right. So your assessment does not specify about SWOT analysis, but SWOT analysis is normally used when it comes to situation analysis or environmental analysis. Okay, so I would strongly recommend you to use SWOT analysis. Okay, all right. Now let's look at the structure of the assessment. The first one is introduction. This is how I recommend you to structure your assessments. Feel free to have a different type of structure, but this is highly recommended. The reason for that is basically you'll find that your assessments 1 and 2 are related and they lead to the development of marketing plan. And normally when we write a marketing plan, we start with the introduction, and some people insert executive summary. But for assessment 1, that is fine if you don't insert the executive summary. Okay, so that's the introduction. Here we outline a brief introduction about the company, product, service, and activities. What do they do? Okay, so you refer to the assessment brief and you'll be able to find that there is a short scenario about this business, which is basically about a chocolate category. Okay, so this is similar to a background analysis, if you like. So one of the things that I'd like to highlight to you is please discuss with the library to find out IB's World Report to help you analyzing the industry comprehensively. Okay, and that will help you with the micro and macro environmental analysis. Okay, all right. Now the next one is macro environmental analysis. Okay, and you can look at again data such as the ABS, Austrian Bureau of Statistics, any publications, other industry reports such as IB's World Report, as mentioned before. Now the purpose is again is to show changes that affect industry. Okay, so you need to specify the past forces that you analyze, all right, in order for you to show the changes. and impact to business. Okay, impact to business, right? So they're the ones that you need to show. And the macro environmental analysis in here, again, basically it is related to the opportunities and threats if you refer to SWOT analysis, okay? Because the impact can only be positive, okay, or negative. Okay, can be both, can be neutral. We are going to discuss this in the environmental scanning, right, next week. And the impact could be around costs, increase or decrease, that result in profit of the organization. Okay, the impact can also be around, can also revolve around the consumption. Okay, the consumption in here refers to whether the consumption is going to increase or decrease because consumers buy more because of certain things, certain conditions that macro environmental forces affect them. Okay, and that will result to sales revenue of the organization, whether it is going to increase or decrease, or both of them. Okay, or both of the costs and profit. Okay, so they're the ones that you want to look at. Now, micro environmental actors. What are you going to look at here? Okay, micro environmental actors basically affect the value creation, communication, and delivery of the company. So what you want to show is basically about how they affect the value that the company is creating. Okay, so you need to look at suppliers, how they affect them. Okay, so be specific. Okay, make sure when you analyze everything in here, be specific. Okay, so the suppliers, public, what voice that they have been shouting. Okay, the competitors, the company itself, right? So you can look at marketing department or sales department, R&D, manufacturing or supply chain, and so on and so forth. Okay, and you can also look at please also look at the marketing intermediaries. Okay, in this instance, they are the middlemen. Okay, and the last one, you also want to look at the customers. Okay, who are they? What are the pressures that they have? Okay, now in terms of customers, you can also move them into the customer behavior analysis, because we have specific section here about customer behavior analysis. Okay, now customer behavior analysis. Okay, we are going to discuss this concept next week as well in terms of understanding consumer behavior. So next week. So next week and next couple of weeks, we will be busy analyzing, discussing concepts that are related to your assessment one. Okay, so there are some factors that you need to look at. Okay, so here you need to look at factors affecting consumer behavior. Okay, you can also analyze their buying process. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay. And lastly, conclusion. So I guess it is pretty straightforward. Okay, the conclusion must include the key findings. Okay, of the above analysis. Now, look, a lot of people when it comes to conclusion, they forget to relate them back to the key findings. Okay, so the key findings in here include everything that you have analyzed. All right, starting from here, macro environmental analysis down to your consumer behavior analysis. Okay. Right, so the other things that I'd like to highlight to you is please refer to the assessment brief for details and relate to the theory. Okay, use the tools discussed. Okay, and please check your student handbook for plagiarism policy. Therefore, you need to insert references and please paraphrase. Okay, please target a similarity index of 20% or less. Okay, so maximum 20%. Okay, I would appreciate if you can do less. Okay. Formal writing style and upload Word document. Okay, upload Word document, not PDF, not the other formats. Okay, and formal writing structure, title page, table of content, headings, subheadings, and so on and so forth. Okay, and assessment is due on the 29th of December this year. So before you pop your bottle, please, to celebrate New Year, please submit it, okay? And now I have put some links in here, okay? And the first two links are basically related to marketing textbook that you may want to use, okay? Right, so that's basically assessment 1. Now let's move on to the next one, which is basically assessment 2. Now I'm going to stop sharing this one, and I'm going to share that one. Oops, back to assessment 1, okay, assessment 2. Right, I think I need to put it at, okay, make it resting. Okay, now let's look at assessment 2, okay? The assessment 2 is also straightforward, okay? These two assessments are pretty straightforward. The ultimate goal of these two assessments is basically about writing a marketing plan, as mentioned to you before, okay? So this is the one that we need to write, okay? So we have that, okay? And that's the instructions that we need to write, okay? Analyze the link between marketing practice and marketing theory, so insert the theory. And the relevant tools that we need to use includes these guys here, situation analysis, segmentation analysis, targeting, and marketing strategy. Now, look, any strategy that you write, you will start with a situation analysis, okay, or environmental analysis. Any strategy, any business plan, marketing plan, any plan that you write, either a sales plan, business plan, or marketing plan, you will start with the situation analysis. Okay. Now let's have a look at how it is structured. The first one is executive summary. The executive summary is, we write it at the last, okay? Although it appears first, but we write at the last, okay? Write at the last. Why is that? Because you can't summarize anything unless you have completed the other sections, okay? So we have to ensure that we write it at the last, yeah? Right, let me just save it into my drive, okay? Now introduction, again, the same thing, outline brief summary about the company, product, service, and activities. Look, I do not recommend you to copy and paste because you may increase your similarity index if you do, okay? So tweak them, tweak your introduction, okay? Tweak anything that you want to use from assessment 1. Right, the next one is a brief summary of situational analysis. Now this one is implicitly mentioned on your assessment brief, okay? The assessment brief suggests that you need to be able to relate to your situational analysis. So the best way to do it is to summarize it. You summarize the situational analysis that you analyze in assessment 1, okay? Again, do not copy and paste because there are two reasons here. First, you'll have problem in terms of word limits if you copy and paste. And second, you'll have high similarity index, okay? And actually, there is a third one, okay? If you copy and paste, you may not focus on the key points, okay? So if you summarize it, you are going to focus on the key points of these areas here, okay? So for instance, in macro environmental forces analysis, you find that, well, actually political is not affecting so much. Then you focus on the other elements, such as social, for instance. Then you elaborate the social, okay? Social, like consumer lifestyle affects a lot in this industry, okay? And you write more comprehensively in your summary. Okay, and micro environmental actors, the same thing, and also consumer behavior, the same thing, and just the summary that you write. Okay, now the next one is target market analysis. Target market analysis is interesting. Okay, if you write, very likely your analysis revolves around consumer market. Okay, therefore, please use 4 segmentation variables. Oops. Okay. You can also use, this is recommended, Roy Morgan value segment. We are going to discuss this in the strategic marketing discussion. Roy Morgan value segment, okay? And I believe I've sent a link to Strategic Business Insights that allows you to complete a questionnaire of a value segment research. Okay, please try that, and you can also we can also have a brief discussion sometime next week. And the next one is marketing strategy. Okay, guys, actually the term marketing strategy includes point 4 and 5. Okay, but since point 4 is quite large, it deserves a specific section. Okay, now. In this section, in the marketing strategy section, you need to include positioning and marketing mix variables, right? We are going to discuss these concepts, positioning map and positioning statement, and also marketing mix variables in the next few weeks, okay? Positioning map and positioning statement will be discussed in strategic marketing discussion, and if you refer to the presentation I have uploaded, it will be discussed in the next presentation actually. And following that, we'll discuss marketing mix variables. I believe this one will be discussed after we come back from the New Year's break. Okay? And conclusion, okay? Again, the same thing. Conclusion must include key findings, right? Okay, again, the same brief, Word document only, okay, not PDF, and refer to the assessment brief for details, relate to the theory. Okay, so briefly explain the theory. If you explain, the definition, for instance, that is a good starting point actually. And use the tools that we discussed, okay, to demonstrate that you understand the theory. Okay? And the other thing is look at the student handbook for plagiarism policy. And again, in terms of similarity index, please target a similarity index of 20% or less. Okay, preferably less. Okay, I have to bold that. Formal writing style, formal writing structure. Okay, and this assessment is due on Friday, 26th of January 2018. And again, the same links that I have put up here. Okay, right. So that's basically our assessments. Our 2 assessments, and good luck.